got some bad habits, I admit it. I need to get my shit together, need to quit it. I get sick and tired of the way I'm living. But shit, I like just what I like, ain't nothing different. I like to roll up a blunt, I buy his every month. I like to pour up a drink, wanna feel more than a buzz, yeah. I like to fuck on your girl, she said my name when she come. I should be saving my funds, but I like spending it up, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Hey, what's going on, man? This Check Your Temp podcast, man. On this platform, man, we're gonna check your core temperature, not what your mouth say, but what your body say. So check us out. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, once again, man, this Check Your Temp podcast. And on this platform, we have conversations that we believe that plague our community. Some of our topics could piss you off, make you mad, make you upset, but we always aim to educate and motivate. So, just like checking your temp, man, we trying to see how people really doing out there. We have a Father's Day coming up, tomorrow?
Sunday, 2 more days.
What is it, the 19th?
Yeah.
What's the day? The 18th?
Today is the 18th.
So, no, it's tomorrow then, Saturday.
Maybe the 20th.
Oh, it's the 20th.
Yeah.
It ain't the 19th then.
I'm not sure.
You know what's crazy, man? I never remember Father's Day, man. Like, for some reason, man,
It's a wayside holiday.
it's crazy. It's sad to say though. Like, it's sad to say that it's hard to believe, man. But before we jump into it, man, y'all know who I am, man. I call myself Mr. Check Your Temp, man. But I got my partner here. I'm gonna let him introduce yourself. Go ahead, brother.
What's up, man? Everybody, check your temp. My name's Dane, man. I like to call myself Dane. They call me Damon Leathers. A lot of people call me that, but I'm pretty basic, so I don't got a lot of street names and none of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. They don't work for me, nigga. I've been forgot them aliases.
Yeah, man.
I tried it back in the day, man. I'm like, I forgot my own name. Like, I said, let me stick to what I know.
Right,
you know what I mean? Keep it simple, man. But today, man, we talking about fatherhood, man. You know what I mean? I'm a parent, one, but I also raised my stepson as well. So I know both ends of step parenting and biological parenting and all that, man. What about you, man? How many little ones you got?
Same here, man. I got 4 little ones, man. But I just done raised other kids, just being in different relationships,
Okay.
So it's always a package deal, and it's always a blessing in my consideration to be able to give to whatever you can to any youth,
Yeah, raise somebody else's seed, man. It's a full-time job if it's done right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's done right, you know what I mean?
It ain't always easy, because sometimes you got to have the other involvement, to want to abide by it. And I got friends who tell me, you're the best dad that ever been in my life. Who stepdad they talking to, and then I got other friends who they don't even have a relationship. Don't talk to their stepchildren in the household a little.
That's crazy
because of it, but. It's like you said, if you got the opportunity, and like you said, if it's there to be able to do it, it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing.
But let's touch it. But before we get too deep into step parent, man, it's all parenting, man. But fatherhood, man, what that mean to you, man? First off, I'm gonna ask you a question. How old was you when you had your first child?
I was 18, man. I was 18, and it's crazy to say I was breaking the modem, the barrier, because for me to be 18, it was everybody in my environment, 16, 15, fathers and girls running pregnant, because of the stigma and like I said, just the environment for real, more so than anything. But yeah, I was 18,
So 18 years old, man. So was your father around you? Did you grow up with a father in the home?
No. I was a kid who had that desperate reach for a father, but never really had the actual, figure there, and for whatever reason, now that I understand as a man, but even now, for me to understand that, it's like, it's a forgiveness, and it's a love and appreciation for me to be able to accept everything, so I'm in a different place than I was when I was 18.
Of course.
About him, you know.
Yeah, about your pops. Like, so is he still alive?
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
He had a stroke and everything, but he good though. He good. You know, he communicate with me. It's funny that he communicate with me more now than he did, you know, before he had the stroke. But that's just God, man. You know, life have his reasons for, you know, it coming to what it come to. Like I said, you got to be able to accept some things from where they at. You know, and for me, I'd rather have my father than not have him, man. So I don't have no ill or bitter, you know, to me that's kind of sucking, you know.
I'm gonna speak on that with you, brother. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, man. My, you know, I mentor young adults. You know, I've been mentoring for quite some time, right? And one of my partners, I was mentoring his son before I even knew it was his son. So fast forward, we linked back, me and his son linked back up. He's 25. I started mentoring him when he was 15. So 10 years later, we link up on some t-shirt business type, and we link up on some. We kicking it one day. I'm like, damn, bro, when last time you talk to your pops? Oh man, fuck that nigga. What is going in on him, right? So I'm like, look, man. I said, do you still need your pops to take care of you? He like, nah. I say, you owe your pops. I mean, you owe him a conversation. Talk to him. So he finally reached out to him that day. Talked to him, chopped it up. Man, next day his daddy died.
Man.
Next day, he was like, bro, I want to thank you, you know, for making me call my daddy.
So he called him on some. It wasn't no ill, man. So it was like, you know.
Nah, I made him. I told him like, bro, call your daddy.
Yeah.
I ain't know his daddy was sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know what time it was.
Right.
When I found out I knew his daddy was. I just knew his daddy to be a cool dude.
Yeah.
But our fathers have their own path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? What that path be? My thing is this: once you come across that threshold as a man, and you consider yourself as a man, you owe your father at least a conversation to see why. You know what I mean? Get that understanding before you cancel this contract.
But again,
you know what I mean?
You just said a key thing, man. The value in that key word was man.
Yeah.
We in our you know, environment, we don't value that. We don't value that because of the examples that we ain't had. You know, and then the examples that we have had have not been able to be full, you know, sustainable men. We've had saturated men, you know, they make it to a certain point and something happened, you know, dope game or whether it be
raised by their mother,
blue or white collar life, you know, style, you know,
just raised by a woman too.
Yeah, because of some of those illnesses that we got, you know, we're subjected to what we conditioned by right now, for real.
I mean, yeah, that's real shit. Like, I mean, just even being raised by just a single mother, and it's not the mother's fault. Because of this daddy, if he ain't there, he ain't there. But at the end of the day, it take two. You know what I mean? A woman can't raise a man, so he still got them women tendencies and all of his feelings. Don't know how to do his emotions yet. It took the father to balance that out. Like, you know what I mean? You know, that like I say to this day, man, the hood is full of young men raised by their mothers who don't know how to handle their emotions. Right? You know what I mean? It took me years to be able to control my motherfucking emotions. Yeah. To not to go the fuck off because somebody said something foul about me or looked at me too long.
So that's why I was saying to you before we kind of got on about the nourishment part. You know, cause I told you I'd be good heavy on that eating and diet stuff. But if you think about what you was nourished with as a child, and then you think about some of your other friends who had their fathers around, no matter what type of father they had, whether it was a good father, whether their father was a player, or their father was in a dope game, you know. If they had that man, you see what type of man they shaped out to be because they're your friend. You can judge off of that and think like, you know, A plus B always equals C, man.
Indeed.
So it's always those ingredients that add up to us being, you know, more sensitive men because of having those mothers and having that, you know, sisters and aunties and growing up in those environments and only having uncles and only having cousins or whatever male figures to keep us in that line of male and man. But the man part, like you said,
we missed that
example,
part.
Yeah, the example ain't been there.
Nah, you good. I mean, we did,
the example ain't. You know,
we missed that.
It ain't there for, you know. So for that to be at the point that we at right now, it's like let's stop being tricked. You know, the game and the trick was that. You know, so since we done been fooled and tricked by that, like let's go off of a whole nother mindset. You know, and it's hard because But a lot of us, we conditioned already, like, you know, we sold into, like you said, man, my daddy he ain't been there.
That's some sucker shit, man. Like you said, man, it's sucker shit, man. It's just, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I try to save my daddy life, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I told you this a little bit. I'm gonna recap, man. Long story short, man, I go my pop's house over his mother house. He still stayed with his mother. I get there to go blow one with him, and I go upstairs, knock on the door locked. Well, the door shut. I go downstairs like Big Mom, duck sleep. She like make him wake up. So I go back upstairs, bang on the door, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, he ain't saying nothing. The room ain't that big. The door flimsy. I'm like, he would have heard me. Like, hit it again, boom, boom, boom. I got that gut feeling. I say, damn, he dead. Like, something. He in there. Like, why you answer the fucking door? By this time, my big one come up the steps with the key to the room. She opened the door. He lay in the motherfucking bed, dead. I walk up to him. She slapping him in his face. Wake up, Doug, wake up. I touch his pulse. He got a faint pulse. So I call 911. They called me, walked me through CPR. I ain't never done CPR a day in my life, man. I just put the joint out before I knocked him. I was high as shit. Like, man, I'm doing this. I get him on the floor. CPR, bro. Right before the ambulance walking to the coming to the house, they called, of course, they would send them as I was doing CPR. I never did CPR a day in my life, bro. When I went to go push down in his chest caved in. That fucked me up. I never experienced nobody chest cavity break.
Yeah.
So she like, keep going. So I go to put the last breath into my pops before the ambulance dude came in his room. Nigga, I put my mouth on his mouth. He blew the breath back in me. Like, that shit fucked me up, man. To this day, I still taste. It tastes like baby milk, man. And I still hear the cracking in my hands from his chest cavity when me doing CPR, man. This is why I tell niggas, man, you can't be, man, don't be so upset at your pops, man, because you don't know his story and how he was raised and who his example was.
Exactly.
And then you find yourself mimicking the same shit you met at your daddy about. You doing the same shit to your seed.
Let's stop going for that trick. Man.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've been mimicking the same things,
Yeah.
Frivolous with your penis, all that type of stuff, man. So stop going for all these tricks, like try to change, the per diem, man.
I'm gonna ask you one more question, man. By your father, you say your father, you ain't grew up with father in the household, right? So me either, and I didn't have an example. I was a father at 19. I didn't have an example of what a father looked like.
Right.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. What did you pull from to start your father, to start down that path if you never seen fatherhood?
Streets, uncles, cousins, like I said, everything I was just saying earlier for me, and that was for me, because that's how and it's funny that I said that earlier, and then you asked that as the question, because for me, that was my, examples of, what men, and I took each, even like, everybody has to be an addition of something.
Right.
You even a mass of what you made, of what you eat.
Right.
So also of what has been thought, music, all that. It's a makeup of, and you took each piece of different love songs, different rap music, which was your, favorite line or favorite little melody, and all those little things add up to what makes you. So it's the same thing for me. Like, it's been different examples, like when I look at, my favorite sport being basketball, different examples of one basketball player makes a total of what, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant is, because he's learned this from him and he's learned this from him, and, this adds on to his game and this adds on to his game. So it's that additions of all those men that's been in my neighborhood, been around my life, that has given me the examples of what I felt was quality in a man, and what still is, especially the ones who I see that's 60 years old, still jigging around like they 40, 30,
right,
55,
still moving, right,
yeah, still doing their thing, healthy, what I mean, they praise themselves, pat themselves on the back for how they can spin a young girl around, do what they can do, man. But
right.
It ain't even about that. To me, it's more so about the mindset and the health and a mindset and how they've been able to sustain certain things, because some of these men, for real, that I'm thinking about, married and been able to sustain their life with their wife for, going through these turbulent times, and, I'm
gonna tell you something, man. What I pulled from, man, like you said, you can't help but pull from a lot of that shit in the beginning, man. I had my son on Dutch with me, straight throwing up tray, brick city this, brick city that. I'm 21, 22. That's all we knew. Like, but what I pulled from when it came to raising him and values, all I had was loyalty. I ain't had shit to pull from. Yeah, I've been to my uncle's house to spend it on weekends when I was younger, all that good shit. You know what I mean? But that wasn't my reality. Like, you know what I mean? My reality was Dutch Colony when Nasty went to his bunch of guys in the hood chilling. Like, you know what I mean? So when it came to raising my son, all I had was to pull from was loyalty. And when I mean by that, that means no matter what, I'm going to do right by you. No matter what, you my motivation to better myself. Like, you know what I mean? That's all I had to go on, man. Cause I ain't had shit else to go on. Like, I ain't had no example. My mama had boyfriends and that was knucklehead. You know how that go. You know, some niggas fuck with the woman just for the woman, but ignore the child. Right. You know what I mean? But it's like you say, it's a package deal. Like, you know what I mean?
Every man don't take that into consideration when they dealing with a woman.
Nah. It's a package deal. That's why I say, me to this day.
You no uncles or anything like that?
No, I got uncles, man, but they had their own kids. They was raising their own kids. They'd come through, sit at my sister, which is their sister, which is my mother. You know, you know what I mean? You running, you ripping and running. Like, there was no real lot of advice given to me. Right. Like, when it comes to parenting.
My mom spend weekends over there.
That's what I'm saying. I spent the night up their houses, like 14, 15. Once I hit 16, that shit stopped. I was in the way then. Like, I mean, I spent the night. I probably was. Last time I spent the night back, I can remember, I probably was 13. After that, it was Murder, She Wrote. I was in the way. I was doing everything, other things, but that wasn't my reality. Yes, I was over to go over their house. They got a house, and you know what I mean, they got their own rooms, and they got the mama and the daddy. And I was there for the weekend. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I seen it, but once I got back home, I forgot all about that. Right? You know what I mean? But you know, I didn't have nothing to pull from, man. I just pulled from trial and error, and I knew what I didn't like by not having a father. I knew where I suffered, where I lacked, and I just made sure that I didn't put them same ingredients into my son. All my insecurities that I was able to hide by a mean mug and a cold shoulder shove. I made sure he didn't have. He didn't have to go through that shit. That's all I had to build from, man. You know, when it came to that parenting. You know what I mean? For us, being a father, man, because a lot of us, we still don't know, man. You know what I mean? Age don't make you grown.
No. So that's why I say, man, if we kind of got to get back to that central location, man. You know, like you said, we don't necessarily know, but for me, you know, coming from, you know, some of the teaching that I done got, you know, my main man Andre Taylor, he like to speak on manhood, and a lot of the things that we need to centralize and come from is emphasis on what manhood is and what and how to define it in the terms of our lives where we are now. You know, because a lot of people still compromise what, you know, dominion and what manhood is, and that's where we still having that failure at, because we so conditioned by TV, by, you know, social media and so many other things that's like taking us away from that daily. Like, even if you just wake up and tell yourself every day, I love myself, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna show somebody else some love, you know what I'm saying, like like on some corny mess, like you can say that like on some corny shit, like, you know, to some people that might be corny.
Nah, that's real shit though.
To be able to do that, like an exercise, you exercise your tongue to say I love myself. So that exercise that you build, you're gonna build that to somebody else. So it's like we gotta be able to try to condition ourselves on that manhood thing, that manhood part. And it ain't about, like, you know, paying bills, having a job, you know, it's everything intake with that too. You know, you gotta learn how to, like you say, mental health, man. Your mental health, you know. Listening to Nikki Giovanni and Jimmy Baldwin speak on a certain little issue, she was speaking on, she's just, you know, he going one way and she going one way, and her branch off from what he was saying was, why can't a man, you know, after from faking it 8 hours with the white man, come home and fake it 2-3 more hours at home, instead of coming home and dealing with and taking all that frustration off his back and immediately snapping on the kids, snapping on the wife, you know, shape that a little different by faking it 2 more hours. Let that be more work. We don't ever put that extra work in, because we got extra work to do from how far we've been pushed behind the game and the system, from the game that the system has placed us. We don't come from laws. The system is laws. We come from custom, and we still trying to do things in custom, like me being here for you, you being there for me. We do that for custom, not because I owe you something,
right?
Or you about to give me a check for me leaving here,
right?
Like, we come from doing stuff that we know to do for each other, but we so conditioned with these laws and playing that game that's why we can't get back to that initial thing to try to learn about manhood, because everything that's taken us away from fatherhood is manhood.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just really think we got to get to that central thing, man, with that, like you said, man.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 42 years old, man, and I've been married. And when I was younger, like I said, man, more high head and don't know how to control my emotions. Motherfuckers can trigger me. It took me to be 42 years old to the point where I'm calm, cool, and collective. I know how to control my emotions. I'm not catching no more sucker attacks. Yeah. I ain't putting my hand on women no more. Yeah. Like, I ain't doing that shit no more. Like I did that shit in 2021. Like, I didn't know. Like, I just knew motherfucker disrespect. You know what I mean? But that's not manhood. Ain't nobody teaching me that. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody. I had to learn that. I had to learn it because it was a feeling. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want to see a woman cry. Don't nobody want to. You know what I mean? That ain't. I mean, you should know how to. You can't be in the same house with your kids, and you calling your woman bitches, hoes, out of name, disrespecting her to the third degree. What you think you doing to that child? That child gonna grow. That boy or that girl gonna grow to be a man or a woman.
Shape, yeah.
You know what I mean? You molding, you are the example of what they are going to do in their relationships. And you wonder why they out here crashing out. Like, doing goofy shit. Like, we look in the mirror. You know what I mean? But a lot of us don't want to take that good old look, man. Like, so that's why I say,
man.
That's the key. That's the key, man.
So if we can, like you said, just start from there, man. Like, in that word man, M-A-N, you know, as a man, accountability for what we not with that. I take accountability for what I'm not in that aspect of being a man. You know, you can say, I ain't a good father at this, I ain't a good father at that, I ain't a good man at handling this, my emotions too whack for handling that. You know, those are things that I need to improve. And start like with you recognizing and trying to take accountability and doing something about it to really be what we consider you being a male figure to become a man.
That's the first step, man. It's accountability, man. You gotta. That's one thing I'm a firm believer, man. Looking yourself in the mirror, man. I look myself in the mirror every day, and I know where I'm at in life, mentally and physically. Like, I mean, I'm not ashamed. Like, you know what I mean? Because one thing about parenting, man, there's no handbook to this shit at all. The only thing you can go off of is when that child come back and look you in your face and tell you how you did.
Yeah.
And guess what? You gotta eat it.
Yeah.
Because you may think you was perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? You may think, you know what I mean, you know, everything was copacetic because you kept shoes on their feet. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you got Nikes and all that materialistic shit.
But you say that, man, because my brother, I got a brother who same age as me, you know what I'm saying? Different moms, you know. You know, we like 4 months apart, 3 months apart. And for us to be as close as we are, we share stories. And a lot of stories that we share when it comes to our pops, it never carries a negative emotion. So he'll tell me something like, yeah, Pops probably came through with some Jordans for me, you know, when I was 10, but that nigga wasn't there, or this and that, da-da-da-da-da, you know, like, because, you know, our Pops, like I said, you know, for what it's worth, he, you know, Rolling Stone doing what he was probably doing, you know, making that money, you know, Pops was living that type of life, so he understand, he know the game, and he, you know, but at the same time, I be thinking to myself, like, damn, I wish I could have got that pair of Jordans. I wish he could have dropped by that one time, you know what I'm saying? So it's everything that play a part, because he got a different emotion and feeling about my dad and a different respect about our father than I do. It's funny because, like I'm saying, you know, and accountability, like, I know, like, for me, like, you know, being a father, you know, and have an understanding of a man, like, you know, all right, Dad, I got that forgiveness for you. But my brother don't have that same experience for him to have that forgiveness for what he experienced with my father. So I gotta listen to that and understand my brother, but also look at my father and be like, damn, you know, I still love you, still the greatest thing. I forgive you for everything, man. Because for no matter any of those times when you didn't bring me that pair of shoes, it probably would have been a bad moment, or probably would have resulted to something that was even more negative.
Yeah.
Because my mama never talked bad about my dad.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you know, I was shaped to think something.
Molded,
from.
yeah.
That's right.
That bullshit.
Yeah. So if he would have been doing that, that would have been a little bit more emphasis on me to have more love for him, as opposed to me looking back now and be like, damn, my brother used to tell me, you know, probably like, you know, 10, 20 years ago about him bringing him joy, and I want to be talking to me now, man. Bump him, man.
Right.
See,
but see, that's the man in you, though. I love you say that, man, because I have a brother too, man, and he couldn't get over the hump of Pops not being there in the role that he played.
In your life?
Yeah, and all, like, we had the same daddy, like, you know what I mean? So my big brother, man, he couldn't, but when he died, he went 10 years without even seeing him and speaking to him. But when he died, you get up on that pew and you cry. I didn't get it, because when he was here, he wanted to see you, but you holding a grudge. You a grown man. I forgave my daddy when I turned 18, because, you know, I didn't need him no more. I didn't need him. Fuck, I'm mad at you for. Man. I'm working. I got a car.
Your brother probably coming from a different.
It is, and I know I don't understand, and that's what I'm saying. Like, for you to speak on it, because I can't comprehend that. But at the end of the day, he got his own
and he
feelings.
Older, you say?
Yeah, he older. I'm the youngest, so he got his own emotional feelings to deal with, and it seems like he haven't dealt with them yet. That's the point. Like, I dealt with mine, and I was there with him, and I said, you know, he was around me. It's just the last 10 years he ain't fuck with him, and for whatever reason. But my thing is this: I just don't condone motherfuckers not fucking with their parents. That's what I don't understand. If you grown,
right.
If a motherfucker tried to kill you and take you off this earth, then I can see you not dealing with them. If they ain't do that, because everybody got their hang-ups. Your parents struggled too. You know what I mean? It ain't just you. You know what I mean? They struggle. You don't know their story.
Right.
Find out their story, get an understanding, and then see where y'all can build from there. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes it take hardship, and cause my pops had a stroke too, man. Before he had a stroke, he was on the cane, man, for the last 10 years, man. He was fucked up, man. You know what I mean? But you know, he started picking up the phone more. He started reaching out more, and he started communicating a lot more. Right? You know what I mean? You know, so like I said, man, all I say is, man, you know, for motherfuckers out there dealing with that, they father, you got an issue, man. Just make sure, you know, sit down with him, man. Have a conversation with him, man. And see what time it is.
Or if you got an issue, don't let the issue spew.
Yeah.
Let's say like that. You know what I'm saying?
Deal with it.
The thing about it, like the whole thing, I was even talking about this shit. It's spread, man. Quit letting the negative spread. Quit letting the bad fatherhood spread. Quit letting the bad examples spread. Like, you know, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to.
No. Deal with it.
It's so.
Approach it.
It's so much easier to try to deal with certain things than not, man, and it probably sound crazy. I probably could say that coming from where I'm coming from, where I'm looking at it, but it is, man. When you get to that point and you learn about dominion and you don't compromise, man, you don't let nothing, you know, push you up against the wall. You don't allow things like that to push you up against the wall. And your freedom with your life becomes better because you have a different understanding and appreciation for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not just about father or mother. It's about nature and God and spirit. And you understand certain things like that. You know, that's a whole nother thing. But, you know, it keeps you more inclined to the emphasis. And the emphasis, like I'm saying, is us learning that word that you said, manhood. And then the value of that, us being melanated creatures, the value in that. The second cell that God made, like, come on, man, the thinking cell, then melanin, where we are, understand that, be like, what has took us away from that and where we are now, everything in between that, if we look back and we be like, man, come on, man, I got to, this is easy, man. Yeah. So,
but you know, but like you said,
because of conditioning.
Yeah, like conditioning, and that's what I'm gonna touch on, man, because it's a system in play that made sure the black man was removed. You know what I mean?
Racism.
You know, racism, child support. You know what I mean? You know, things like that. Welfare, things like that, made sure that the man is removed in order for that woman to receive any kind of assistance. Like, you know what I mean? So once you remove the man out the home, the man he lost his value because he appeared just to be a dollar sign. You know what I mean? The money ain't got nothing to do with the mind. You need that man to mold him. He need that other. You ever seen in the wilderness? You got the lions and the little cub come up there and play too much, and the daddy up.
Right, get him in line.
And he'll go on about his business.
Yeah.
Back over, you know what I mean? That's what they pulled out.
Yeah.
They pulled out the authority figure.
Yeah, line it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I did a video the other day, man, about how some women, man, how they refer to their man as a boy. Oh, boy, you crazy. Boy, shut up. Boy, this, boy. I feel that's an insult as a man.
You got to get into my homegirl, Frances Cress Wilson, man, because she break that down so
I'm
well.
gonna tell you, but the backwards part of that, they would call the man a boy, but they call the little son, you the man in the house. Like, what the fuck? Don't no man pay bills, and I mean, don't no boy pay bills, raise other men, other men's kids, and you know what I mean, all the responsibility that a man do and provide in a family household. You know what I mean, family or no family, the way a man carry himself, a true man, that's not a boy. But you get some women who like to tell themselves, boy, shut up. I get it. Motherfucker can't tell me that, because what I do is not on the boy level. Boys ain't doing this type shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lack of respect with some women when they do that. You know what I mean? That's how I would take it anyway. You know what I mean? But that's why I say once they remove that man out of the motherfucking house, man, it's like it really
racism.
You know, yeah, all plays a part.
No.
Like
you taking that as if I'm saying something like, you know, like because you said racism, child support, you know.
Yeah.
No. Racism.
Starts all that.
Stop.
What you mean?
You keep saying something else as if it's a something else. Say racism.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Racism is a ism of a something, right?
Right.
So a ism of the race, right? So we starting this race, right?
Okay.
And an ism of it, part of this ism is you black. So first of all, you black. Let's take just for example, most average black people think they can beat a white boy. They
right.
think they're better at basketball, football, boxing. We'll knock this white boy out.
Right.
All that old stuff. So that's a given in the race. How is it that in Africa, and we are subjected to come from Africa, pyramids, and we still have not figured that mental part of how to make a pyramid? Mm-hmm. So we got, you know, the first person whoever did the brain surgery thing. Black people are phenomenally smart, but we are conditioned again. So again, race. Let's take them and make them think they dumb, make them think they ugly, make them think their value is less than by putting it on TV and putting it everywhere in sight. That was something that we started that I learned from one of my partners. Got learned by Adolf Hitler, and now we as Americans coming from German American ways are subjected to learn the same way of conditioning people. So the conditioning put us in something that's called the system to be created because you black, melanated, smart, fast, strong. I gotta create a law or something in this race for me to compete in this race. Because if not, in Africa, none of these issues, fatherhood, all that stuff. So if you got a podcast like this in Africa, I can only imagine the strength and the value of what they talking about as opposed to what we talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not that we talking about something less value or more value. It's just the strength and the value of part of what they talking about over there because of what they saying every day. Like how you just said, I grew up without a dad and really ain't had no uncles, but I had this and that. I grew up without a dad and had uncles and niggas on the street, but I ain't really, you know, they value what they talk because of the conditioning in the system and the race that's been put here in America and not subjected to other countries. This system has been so well put that 9 other continents, however many other continents, I can't even think right now geographically, won't even attack or even approach what this system has created. We owe China, we done bombed them. Russia know what's up. They still won't. Africa, we done took all the people from Africa. They know what's up. Mexican, no other country will contest because this system has created something with this UN and this dollar value that nobody want to even approach. So we got to get out of that mindset, like doing things for what it is in that system to try to do things that's against that system to get us back to where we can play even with the race. You know,
I mean, no, I agree 1,000%, man. Because, like I say, man, it's
You see what I mean? What I'm saying? Racism, though.
No, I get exactly what you said when you said racism. Nah, yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, because I know, like I said, for the
I used to
system,
think it was a black and a white thing. Like, man, you know, people just racist. This white man acting like this because he racist. It ain't no racist. He acting like that. He's acting like that because he's hooked into the race of the system.
Yeah.
And he know how to act upon that.
That's why I say, I was just telling my motherfucker recently, like, it's a system that doesn't sleep. While we sleeping, they coming up with another law to trip you up. They come up with another hurdle. You know what I mean? And we know this.
24/7.
They don't sleep. So this is why they always creating shit. Even with June 10th.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard about the fuss about that.
Yeah.
Where the Republicans didn't want to, because it's dividing the city and the country and race. I'm like, I mean, it's always gonna be something, man. Like that's why it takes us to remove ourselves from it and start linking more and start collabing more.
Acknowledging that as a holiday and the Saturday.
It should be every day. It's every day.
Right, man.
Father's Day is not one motherfucking day. This shit is every day, 24/7. My son 23, and I still do a little parenting.
Right.
When he called me and need it, or I feel he need it,
shit.
You know what I mean? So it's not just a day. I mean, I appreciate the, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? That's as much as it's worth. Like, you know what I mean? That's why it's sad to say, I don't remember what day Father's Day be falling on. It always sneak up on me, and it's sad as fuck.
Right, yeah.
I don't know why I can't get that up under my belt. Like, you know what I mean? But I know I've been a parent, motherfucker, for 23 motherfucking years. A father, dedicated.
Right.
Called him out, coming out the, you know what I mean, the womb, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, but like I said, you 100% right, man. Like, you know, it's just, it's a pattern, man. You know what I mean? That's constantly, man. You know, it started even, you know, the music, the things that's advertised, things that's pushed, man. So, you know, yeah, I agree 1,000%, man. It's just, you know, it take us to acknowledge it first. A lot of us have, you have. I know a lot of people that I follow that I know that see what the issue is, but a lot of motherfuckers ain't ready to look up.
Yeah, I got some bad habits, I admit it. I need to get my shit together, need to quit it. I get sick and tired of the way I'm living. But shit, I like just what I like, ain't nothing different.